Hi, this is Gene Basler in West University, Texas, in Houston, and this is a pop quiz. What is this? This is spray foam. This big huge piece broke out of the tree. This is the second in a week of similar, 9-inch diameter size. So somebody came out on Friday and did all this spray foam. What they said they were trying to do was locate the bees by closing up all the holes. I guess they located bees, I don't know. But let's just suppose for a minute that bees were present somewhere in a cavity in this trunk of this tree. 47-inch diameter tree. And what would that tell us? That would just tell us that there's decay and there's a big enough cavity for bees to start to make a home in. So this is a water oak. It's a big one. Like I said, 47.5 inches diameter at standard height. This is the piece that broke out this morning. This is the piece that broke out last week. It has a history of other pieces breaking out of it, like this nice big rip cut. These stubs here and here, they might not have been broken branches. They could have been in previous pruning operations, skylining it on the property line. So I want to remind everyone that there is no such thing as a safe tree, and that tree risk assessment is about risk management, not risk elimination. So here's another big old rip cut that's old. Another smaller one right here. This tree is riddled with rip cuts, riddled with decay. There are a lot of decay spots that are readily visible from the ground, which is like the tip of the iceberg. It's a fraction of the amount of decay that is not visible from the ground. It has been pruned for line clearance over the years, and consequently it's been whacked at a lot. I do like the fact that it hasn't been pruned in a really long time, as evidenced by the presence of interior foliage. You can tell it's been stripped out in the past. None of the interior foliage is greater than about 2 inches in diameter, but it's clearly been lion's-tailed in the past. And so the presence of interior foliage indicates that it does indeed actually have, it has indeed not been pruned in a while. But there's some really long ends. I mean, let's just follow this. Remember, this is 47 inches in diameter. Let's follow this branch way the heck out to here. And the same thing with this leader. Way out to here. And the same thing with this part of the tree out here. Oh, and up there. Okay, so I just want to, point out that to arborists, there doesn't have to be a cavity on the trunk for you to recommend removal. Now, have I recommended removal of this tree? No, I haven't. I have presented some options, like some aggressive weight reduction pruning. And I mean easily 1/3. I would get rid of the spray foam, because that really just traps in moisture and which can speed up decay. I'd fertilize this tree. I don't know that I'd do root invigoration to it, but I'd certainly eliminate the turf grass back in here. and turn this whole backyard into a mulch bed. It wouldn't be enough for a tree of this size, but it sure would help to eliminate the turf grass competition. But I'd fertilize this tree, and I would consider treating it for root rot, even though I don't see the classic tip dieback. It's indicative of Phytophthora. Maybe a little bit right there. And there are some, don't get me wrong, there are some big dead branches, and there's another big broken one that's hanging, but that didn't precipitate the call. The call wasn't precipitated until the branch made it to the ground. But see, that's a big one too. Let me bring it up into focus. So this is the end of it. And then this is the branch, and there's the point of attachment where it hasn't broken free. Actually, the point of attachment is farther up. Hanging like a Damocles sword. It's totally detached. So it's stuck in a wishbone. Very high risk. There's another one even higher up. This is a high risk tree. So I know Nelda Matheny exhorts arborists to find ways to manage risk rather than constantly recommending removal. And I know that a lot of arborists recommend removal too much, you know, when all you got's a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And so when you're only thing you're good at is removing trees, then every tree needs to come down. And you know, I think we can offer the option to prune this tree, but boy, I would make it perfectly clear that this tree has a huge amount of defects, and I'm going to provide a quote to dismantle it too. I just want to give you guys an idea of how tight of a spot this is. Dismantling this 47-inch diameter tree. Got this very tiny front yard, and some of the brush could be dragged. Well, can't go that way. Can't go that way. There's a neighbor back there. So I think a small stump grinder could get back here. Oh no, the guys are not going to like this. Even the big pruning job is going to be ridiculous. I welcome your comments. info@wideworldoftrees.com. Remember, there is no such thing as a safe tree, and that even a 1/3 weight reduction prune, you know, would not make the tree safe. It might be an effective risk management. And so look at this driveway. Again, we're talking about very difficult access and egress for dismantling this tree. Thank you for your comments. I welcome your feedback. info@wideworldoftrees.com. Also my voicemail hotline, which is 262-724-6701. Feel free to leave a voicemail with your comments or your questions. Maybe you have a question about tree risk management. Maybe you have a question like, do I think it's appropriate to use a resistograph or a picus or sonic tomography to try to determine the amount of decay in the trunk of the tree? I welcome any questions or comments. Thank you very much for tuning in.